You are listening to the Icehouse Podcast, hosting conversations with gritty Kiwi business owners and leaders and industry-leading minds.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Icehouse Podcast. And we're doing something a little bit different today. We are recording Gareth's exit interview live. Just joking. Just kidding. That was just a classic gag. But no, we're not recording his exit interview live, but we are recording an episode about his time at the Icehouse. And that is because as of tomorrow, March 31st, he steps into a new season, and he is actually leaving the Icehouse after a very impactful 6 years here. Started as customer growth partner and is currently the sales manager of the Icehouse. He will be very, very missed. So we thought we'd take some time to unpack what the last 6 years have looked like. So thanks, Gareth.
Well, thanks, Brian. That's nice.
Do I say thanks? I'm not sure.
Well, you'll find out, I guess, at the end. If this is the exit interview, I've got a few things to discuss.
No, I just thought you'd enjoy that.
Thanks. That was a very nice intro. And yes, it has. It's been a great journey. So
6 years, it's super impressive. And yeah, I just know from my, segment of time within that I've been here, just the authentic relationships you build, you are going to be very missed across New Zealand when it comes to the impact you've had. But I know, you're not going anywhere, and let's jump into that. So I would love to start with the first question just by asking you, what has the journey looked like over the last 6 years?
So started off going for a different job. Many years ago. I wasn't going for a sales role. I was going for a different role that the awesome Darylyn Kane got, and I probably wasn't suited for the role. It was managing our coaches, and so I wouldn't necessarily have been selling. Didn't get that job, but then quite quickly afterwards, a role come available, and I got asked if I want to apply for the sales role, the customer growth partner, as we call it, and I did. I interviewed. It was a long interview process. With one of the old managers, with Scott Turner, with Andy Hamilton, and actually I don't know if they were that keen on me at first. Well, the old manager wasn't, but Scott Turner was the person who said, no, I think he'd be great, and vouched for me, and then Andy gave green light, and yeah, here I am. So I did that. I was managing the South Island for the sales as a customer growth partner for the first few years. That went really well. I got greedy. I wanted more. So an opportunity came up in Auckland to manage Auckland sales as well in the Auckland CBD. So I did both that and the South Island. I probably bit off a bit more than I could chew, but still did okay and really enjoyed it. And then from there got promoted 3 years ago to sales manager. So it's been a great journey. I've worked with many business owners over that time, but I've also worked with a lot of external partners as I've become into the leadership role, and then I've worked with some great people, both as peers, but then also them reporting into me. Very
cool. I didn't realize that you went for Darylyn's coaching and advisory lead role. That's quite interesting.
Crazy, right? So when it came around, I think there was a bit more of a sales portion to it, but Darylyn had been working in that role for Auckland University for years and years and years, and worked with Liz and stuff. So
perfect person for it.
she was a really good fit for the role. But great, I went through it for a recruitment company at the time. And then they're the ones who found out there was another role going.
Cool, that's very awesome. What would you have told yourself on the first day of the Icehouse?
Don't be late.
Unpack that.
I was late. I was late on my first day. So we at the Icehouse we have this this buddy system. So I think, who was your buddy?
Simon,
great. So my buddy was Scott Turner, the COO.
Oh yeah.
And so I knew that, and Candice was the old manager at the time, and she was great. She was eventually one who hired me. She broke her arm really badly, was in hospital. So texted me on the Sunday before I started and said, hey, I'm not going to be there, but Scott Turner will meet you and he'll take you through everything. It was great. I am never late. Now, my friends who would listen to this, and they probably won't listen to this, but my friends who might listen to this will be like, yes, you are. You're always late. But that's my wife's fault, Rachel. She's punctually challenged. I've professionally, I really don't like being late, and especially in sales. And it's something that I chirp on a lot about. You should be, early to meetings, not stupidly early, but with 3 or 4 minutes early. And I learned that from my background in acting. I got taught at a young age when I was training to be an actor that if you are late to an audition, you don't deserve to get the role, and you should be there sooner. If someone's not there on the time that they need to be there, they're not reliable. And so I was late. I think I was like half hour, 45 minutes late.
How?
I just got timings wrong.
Oh, okay.
I live outside, I live away and out of Auckland a little bit. And
was it stressful for you?
It was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
I had a horrible first hour and a half. Was horrid. And Scott was great and he laughed at it and he gave me crap for a while, but then he realized that I'm not late.
Yeah, totally. It was a one-off. Yeah,
it was a bit of a
so you'd tell yourself, don't be late.
Don't be late. Don't be late. I think also I've always been someone who's open to learning and just and building relationships and so I feel like on my first day it was just more a case of just be open and don't make any decisions on things that you think are going to last. Just be fluid and just go with the flow.
Soak it in for a bit. On that note, what were some of the biggest learnings over your time at the Icehouse?
There's a lot.
Yeah, good chance to reflect.
I mean, I came from a sales role initially when I moved to New Zealand, and I was in sales kind of roles in education for the first 3-4 years that I was there. But before that, I hadn't been in business really. I'd been teaching in England. I had been working as an actor, etc. So I learned a huge amount pretty quickly at the Icehouse because of the brand and who they were, and also the responsibility of working with business owners was it was quite nervous. I was nervous to be going from working in not a corporate world, but I wasn't working with business owners ever before, whereas now I'm working with people who own their businesses, who've grown them and deserve, I think, a little bit more kudos or respect, because they have so much on their shoulders. So I think that it's okay to be salesy as well. It's something that I learned. Own it. And that's something I've hope I've taught the team, that the people who we sell our programs and our coaching and advisory and things to are super busy, they're time poor, they love their business and they want to grow as individuals within their business, but also want to grow their business. So if you believe in the product, which I certainly did before I even started at the Icehouse, but as soon as I started learning about what the product was and what we did with business owners, I immersed myself into that, and then I started to believe in it. So the thing I was selling, I believed that people should have. So I would sell it to them until the point that they tell me to do one, and own that in the sales. I know you're time poor, I know you're busy, but I think you should do this. I think you need it. I'm going to keep on at you until you tell me not to. And most of the time that worked. People were fine with it.
Honest.
And activity creates opportunity in sales. If you're not doing the work, you don't deserve the sale. I truly believe that. And the more time I've spent working in sales or working with sales teams and helping them, it's all about activity. And what activity you need to do, down to the other thing I've learned is how important data is. Use data to our advantage. We live in a world where businesses spend a lot of money on CRMs or build CRMs internally, even if they're not spending a lot of money on them, even if it is working off an Excel spreadsheet. Just use that data to make sure you're doing the right activity to then produce the sales. Yeah, I've become quite geeky on that front, if I'm honest, and I really like it. And my team will know that I'm always looking into what they're doing, and I question them. Is there a good ROI from what you're doing? Is this a good use of your time? What should you be doing? And yeah, I've learned a lot. I could go on for ages about what I've learned.
No, it's cool. It's really awesome, and great perspective that you actually came in having not worked with SMEs before, and then finding that real love for SMEs through the process. And how sometimes they don't back themselves, but they need to be backed by others to really succeed. And yeah, I love that thought.
That sentence, and I know it sits well with you, is that the SMEs are the backbone of the economy. They really are.
Yeah, they really are.
And we'll go on to what I'm going on to next, but that's definitely a part of my decision making.
Yeah, very, very good. Cool. I like that. Just talking about your time still at the Icehouse, were there any, or are there any standout memories or highlight moments that you just want to put out to the world?
That was I said what you're gonna ask me, and you sent me questions. To be honest, I didn't read many of them. But the one I did go is the standout moments, because I go, oh, what are they? And I think that's what, when you've had a great time at somewhere, not just at work, just full stop, you always think about what was the best things that happened. You go away for a weekend, what can we do again? And so I did write down a few things with this. The team, really great team, and meeting some amazing people. It wasn't that early, I wonder, it was probably in the first 18 months, 2 years. Me and the financial controller Sebastian are very, very competitive and give each other a lot of stick over things, and we have a good relationship. I mean, I've never been tickled by somebody more than Sebastian. Honestly, he's a big, massive human being. He's a giant, but he's got the most annoying, sensitive touch, and he tickles me all the time. Anyway, the backing for this story is that one day I said, let's have a race, because he's very strong. He's a champion weightlifter, but I was like, well, I'm not as strong as you, but I'm faster than you. And he was like, no, you're not. I was like, yeah. So we had a race, and this race was so good. We raced from one end. If anyone knows the Icehouse, there's a big long corridor at the front of it, and we raced from one end to the other. And it's on film, and maybe we'll share it one day. But what Seb didn't think about was that the amount of force that he would produce running fast means that he can't stop as fast as the normal person. And as we're running, we said we'll touch the wall at the end, and he smashed through this wall.
Oh my God.
He put both his hands through the wall. The toilets are on the other side. We got lucky that no one was in the toilet. And I won the race. We've got it on video, and it's often spoken back, because it was very funny. So that's a real highlight for me.
You often weave that into conversation.
Because I won, and he's like, you didn't. No, I did. What other things? I mean,
that's brilliant.
Professionally, finding out how competitive I am with sales.
Yeah.
I've always been competitive. I knew that, but actually how that would drive me, really did. But also competitive in the sense of wanting to make sure that I got really awesome people on programs, and hitting sales targets and things like that. But that whole thing of owning the sales process, and people saying to people, look, until you tell me to bugger off, I'm going to keep on you, because I believe it. Well, another highlight was sitting at an OMP, and we had 25 people around the room, and I don't know the exact number, but they go around, and on the first day, one of the first questions they get asked by the facilitators is, why are you here? And some people went through, well, my business partner did it. The B&Z encouraged me to do it. Gareth wouldn't leave me alone. Gareth wouldn't leave me alone. Gareth wouldn't leave me alone. And in the room, it was like 5 or 6 people. It was like, yeah, Gareth wouldn't leave you alone. God, he's annoying, isn't he? What? And I owned that a little bit. I wore that with a bit of pride, because that's what I feel like we believe in the product, and we know that they needed to do it, and we think that they should, and so they let us do that. I was very proud of that.
Yeah, that's cool.
The first lockdown is a weird answer, but the first lockdown, I felt pretty proud of what I did, and honoured that we have amazing alumni who are very successful business owner, but going into that unknown and not knowing what was going to happen, they reached out a lot to us. It was around just before you started, wasn't it? The first lockdown. And so one of the things we did was there was the COVID fund. So people were calling out to us to get some funded coaching. So we did a lot of engagements. I think we did more deals in the first wee while there than we've ever really done. So that was insanely busy, but also I got asked and was very happy to start running the podcasts and webinars. So I painted a wall in the garage, and I spoke to our alumni. I hosted webinars with partners, and I was doing like 1 or 2 a week, and I really enjoyed that.
That's cool,
because I felt like it was really rewarding. It was extremely tiring. We had both our kids were really young at that stage, but it was also awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, because it's like ultimate impact during that time, right? Where it's just everyone's needing help because it's just so new for everyone.
We were so reactive, and it wasn't just the sales team that were taking these calls from alumni. Everybody was, and we got taps on the shoulder to assist and be a part of the COVID fund, as many providers did. But I know that we're especially in the first lockdown, we got a lot of work, and we were able to assist many all over the country. And that was great, because we had people who had done the owner manager program 20 years or 15 years previously reaching out to us going, I don't know what to do. My staff are at home. We've got this. What would you do? And we've got so many amazing coaches all over the country who supported as well. They didn't, do their usual costs. Everyone jumps on board to help Kiwi businesses, and so we felt very fortunate to be a part of that. And then obviously internally promoted. It's always, being asked to do that was I didn't expect it, and so I was really proud of that. And I'm proud of what I've done since, and I've learned on the job. But I feel like I'm walking away from the role head held high, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's so cool, and so nice to have the space to reflect as well on an amazing amount of time with the Icehouse and the people you've impacted. What's been a challenge of your role? If we were to just be real for a moment.
I think at first it was probably believing in myself.
Interesting.
Because we talk about owners having imposter syndrome. I don't deserve to own this business, or I just started it, or blah blah blah. But they all do deserve it. They've worked their asses off to get there. I'd worked hard to get the job, but also just feeling like I didn't deserve to be speaking to these business owners, whereas actually I did. You listen, you help them, you support them, and then you that helps you to help them. I think I'm quite hands-on, and so I probably I did too much. That's probably, as a leader, probably helped people a bit. Not helped, but you kind of, I'm not great at delegating. I'd help people do it. I'd take that on, and from our leadership development program, I learned that empower others, in educate them, train them, but don't do it for them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then in sales, it's probably spending time on the right things. Sometimes you can really hold on to a sales opportunity, or you can hold on to trying to do a big event or something, but actually at the front end, which is really difficult, is doing ROI. What is going to be the return? OMP people who sign up are notoriously either they're so busy that they're really hard to get hold of, or they're just on the fence, spending good portion of money and a large portion of time on education is quite confronting, and they don't always want to do it. So it takes some time to encourage them to do it, but you have to also realize that sometimes people are just never going to do it at that point.
Is that a challenge? Is it a challenge to hear from someone, I'm too busy, or any of those hesitations?
Yes, it is. And sometimes that they do need to do it, so you can keep on them a little bit, but as long as if they then, going back to the point I said earlier, if they say, look, I'm not doing it now, I've got too much on, then you've got to just leave them. And it's a very personal thing working with SME business owners because it's their jobs and it's their businesses. So you've got to let them make that decision. So sometimes you rip the plaster off and say, right, I'm going to leave you for now, and then go. I mean, I'm still to this day, I've got 3 days left. There's 2 people I'm trying to get on that program. I hope they listen to this and they know who they are. But, and I'm now talking about this, my legacy, sign up. But I know that they want to do it and they said they are. But there has been other times when I've been doing that for so long, I'm like, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Move on, go to the next person, or look at getting other people to improve our pipeline for opportunities or something like that. So yeah, just being a bit more critical with your time and knowing when no's a no.
Yeah, no, that's really a cool insight. You obviously have quite a passion now for SMEs and for business. What excites you about the future of business in general?
I think that obviously technology is really going to help businesses, but also the flip side of that is that sometimes it isn't all around that. So just helping, business owners understanding where tech can really help, but then also where it doesn't, you don't need to, like training and education is still going to be there and helping. And, thinking about what's exciting for the Icehouse is that I truly believe that they can go for another 20 years of assisting business owners through our programs and stuff. I'm excited, hopefully, about, the world becoming smaller. So New Zealand being able to do more international business that doesn't mean everyone has to jump on a plane.
Yeah.
I hope that that's something that will grow and grow and grow. I'm sure it will. In the terms of like New Zealand and SME businesses and the Icehouse, I think that the Icehouse have got a really great opportunity to assist more businesses through coaching and advisory, and helping individuals grow their business who are looking for working with one individual in a period of time, and then also when you grow to the size where you've got an advisory board, is just continuing on that external knowledge. I think that every business that uses someone externally that isn't in the business will succeed far quicker and better than others. So I think that's exciting. Yeah.
And speaking of exciting, tell us about your exciting new step. Where are you heading? And what are you excited about for it?
So they are Liz, we had an alumni event recently, and Liz said in her spiel at the end that they're going to put something into the application forms for the owner manager program so people can't steal members of the Icehouse team, because I am going to an alumni business of the Icehouse, going to a company called Phantom Bill Stickers, who are they're New Zealand's top poster company is what they kind of call themselves, but essentially they have been going for 40 years. They are an out-of-home advertising company. They work with businesses from very small kind of bands all the way up to multinational businesses, doing promotions, and they're national from all the way from Invercargill all the way up to Whangarei, and essentially they started from a chap called Jim who started promoting business bands, and it grew and grew and grew, and now they've got a really busy year this year because we've got the election and things like that, so they're going to be promoting individuals, but also they work with big creative agencies, and then they also work with medium-sized businesses, and they also work with smaller ones. So I'm going in there as a client director to lead the sales team, which has been working amazingly for many years, and basically going in to help them grow and have another 40 years. And so my background in acting was something that was really attractive to me about the opportunity, because it's twofold. I think one is I've been working with Kiwi SMEs for 6 years, and now I get to work in one and help it, and I'm really excited by that. But also I'm working in a creative world where I've got experience from doing adverts and working on TVCs, etc., and now I'm going to be a part of the team selling posters and out of home advertising to that, and looking at opportunities to assist them to grow. They're very much in the Icehouse world. As I said, I've got an owner who's done the owner manager program. We've got someone on our leadership program at the moment who works within the business. One of the directors of the business is one of our Icehouse coaches, and the accountants is an Icehouse alumni and works with us a lot. So it's very much in the family. It's been a long exit because we wanted to make sure that both parties were happy, and I know that they'll be still working at times. I mean, they have the board meetings at the Icehouse, I think, or they have at least meetings at the Icehouse, so I'm going to be walking past my desk a few times. And so it's a really cool company. It's a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to putting my hat into a different area, but hopefully using the same skills. And I'm going to miss all, I am, as close as we get every day that gets closer, I realize how much I'm going to miss the stuff that we sell, but the main thing I'm going to miss is the amazing clients that we work with. I've made some really long-term friends out of clients. So people who I initially sold stuff to have now become mates. So I love that, but also helping SME businesses. But then also you guys, not so much you, but the other people at the Icehouse. It was a real relief when you went to Tauranga.
Whatever.
No, and we have made good mates. And you do know that when you leave somewhere, you do make relationships that will last. And I feel very fortunate because I've got 30 of those from the people that I've worked with at the Icehouse.
That's so special.
And people that have moved on already.
What
are you going to miss?
Oh, no one's ever asked me a question on the podcast.
There we go. What are you going to miss about me? It's all about me, right? So
this is all about you, Gareth. No, this is great. I'm going to miss the constant reminders that you are an actor. 3 times in this podcast, you've mentioned that you're an actor. So I love the consistency.
Oh, God.
I'm going to miss the energy that you bring, the energy you bring to meetings, to the office, the pure passion that you have for people, and the fact that you really do just want others to succeed. So whatever that looks like, you're just doing your best to see others succeed and do well, and not just survive, but like thrive in what they're doing.
Oh, that's nice. When I asked that, I didn't realize that you were going to be really sincere. So now I feel like I'm just trying to get all good things said about me before.
You know me, I'm a sentimental person. So I'm going to throw something out there that is slightly encouraging, but no, you will be very missed. And it's cool when I heard about the opportunity that you've taken up as client director. It's so aligned with your passion for the arts and for media and creativity. And I think it will be such a cool opportunity for sure. So thank you so much for having this conversation, Gareth, and for all that you've brought to the Icehouse. If listeners / the community want to connect with you post the 31st of March, how can they do that?
I'm on the same number, I think. Yeah, I am. But also reach out to grow at the icehouse.co.nz and look into some of our programs. No, but as I said, I'm still a massive part of the family. And so even reaching out to yourself or Liz or any of your customer growth partners, they all still have all of my details. And you exit a business and you want it to go well. Already I know it will go well, because before we started this, I talked about all the things I'm working on. I just want to make sure that I set everything else up for the business to continue to succeed. And if I have missed something, as I've said over and over again, then call me, because I care. I really do. I don't want it to be one of these situations where you're like, oh, I shouldn't call Gareth. It's not that. It's give me a call at night, and I want to talk about a business that I've worked with for 6 years, but I truly believe on the power that it has on our clients. So
that's cool.
It is cool. Awesome. It is good. It is an end. One door closes, another one opens, but at the same time, I'm not really shutting the door on the Icehouse.
Yeah, for sure. It's still the same family and community.
You'll still hear me.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, we'll still hear you.
I think what I might do is I do the thing called the wow noise, or a really loud noise. What I'll start doing is I'm walking into the ice house, I'll start that noise at the bottom of the stairs, so people can kind of run and hide, you know, and
yeah, just some pre-warning that you're entering the building would be
great.
great.
Just like get under the table. Kind of
Oh, you're funny. Anyway, the banter is something I'll miss too. You give good banter, and you can take it, which is also great. But hey, thanks for being on this slightly different but interesting episode of the Icehouse podcast this week, and appreciate your time, Gareth.
Appreciate your time, Bryar.